Hello, virtual fam. It's great to have you along for today's Daily Dose podcast. Our verse today is found in Psalm chapter 19, verse 13. It says this: "Keep your servant from deliberate sins. Don't let them control me. Then I will be free of guilt and innocent of great sin." I can certainly relate to this verse. You probably can as well. Sin has a way of taking over life if it's left unchecked. Something that we thought was so innocent becomes so vile, controlling even. It's what I call a sin cycle. See, Satan is a master at what he does. Now, don't be fooled. He is infinitely smarter and craftier than any one of us. So, how does he work? In many ways, but the sin cycle seems to be one of his favorite ploys. Essentially, a sin cycle works like this. Satan convinces us to do something contrary to God's commands. It's usually something small. And then he convinces us that we can just try it to see what it's all about. After that, we can go back to God. He'll forgive all after all, so we do it and we find pleasure in it. Satan then, usually a little later down the road, convinces us to try it again because it wasn't so bad that first time, so we do it again. This time, there's a little less pleasure. Now he really presses us. Do it again. Maybe it was a fluke. I'm sure it'll be better this time. So we foolishly do it again, and now we've begun to form a habit. And in the middle of all that, boom, Satan immediately begins to heap guilt and shame at us because we sin. This feeling is often overwhelming. So what does Satan do to help us get out of the dumps? That's right. He convinces us to do the same thing again. He somehow gets us to believe that it will make the dumps that we feel better. And so the sin cycle has begun. So how do we get out of a sin cycle once we're stuck in it? I want to focus in on one particular word from our verse today because it is perhaps the most important piece of it. It's the word servant. David realized that it is only through serving God in every aspect of life that freedom would come. Not perfection, but freedom from the control of sin. So what did David do? He focused on serving God and serving the kingdom that he had been entrusted. When we turn our focus on Jesus and not our problems, he begins to strip away the layers of shame and guilt that are surrounding us. And this takes time because as he gets rid of the filth and waste, he also works on our heart. He turns it from serving sin to serving him. As Jesus works to restore us, the sin cycle gradually loosens hold and we find freedom in Christ. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Daily Dose podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Would love to hear back from you about what you think about this episode. And please continue to subscribe, share this with your friends. Keep me in your prayers as I continue to produce these, that these would be impactful and make a big difference in people's lives. But I hope you have a great day.